Hello everyone, uh, and welcome to a technical session 2D. And this is the myself Richa, and this session will be moderated by me, dear author and invited guest. On the behalf of the Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 7th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology for Competitive Strategies. And in this session, we have 8 presentations. Each presentation will be allocated 8 minutes for presentation and 2 minutes for question answer. After 7 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder. I hope this session was informative enough. And I request to everyone to please stay connected till the closing remark so we can take a one digital snapshot for making this virtual conference more memorable. So I would like to now just we get started. I would like to invite our chair of this session, Professor Narendra. Professor Narendra is presently working as an associate professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering for National Institute of Technology, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, India. He has a 14 years of rich experience in academic and research. He has published more than 150 articles in recognized journals, conferences, and books. His main research of area is medical signal and image processing, biomedical instrumentation, speech signal processing, biometrics, intelligent healthcare, brain-computer interface, artificial intelligence, and pattern recognition. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Richa.
Now I would like to start with papers. So I would like to call our first presenter to present his paper on an efficacy of artificial intelligence application in healthcare system, a bird view. A paper presenter is Vikas Kumar Tiwari.
First of all, good evening to all. Myself Vikas Tiwari. I am pursuing my MCA from Nitya Meenakshi Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Now, should I present my paper? Should I start? Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You may please start your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, I want to tell that my topic is an efficacy of artificial intelligence applications in healthcare system, a bird view. Here are some of the topics which I have mentioned here, like abstract introduction, problems, uses of AI, benefits of AI, and applications in healthcare, conclusion and its future scope. Here the abstract in which I have told about that in this paper, I am working basically on the artificial intelligence and how the artificial intelligence are increasing day by day, and how we need the basically use of artificial intelligence in our daily life. About those things I have talked in this paper. Some of the keywords I have mentioned here, that is artificial intelligence, machine learning, patient flow, patient nursing, healthcare informations. Here are some of the literature survey which I have mentioned here. About that I will tell you later. Here is the introduction about my paper. Like artificial intelligence, it is a machine. Basically before time we can't able to, people when visiting to hospital or somewhere else, we can't able to predict that which doctors are there present, which places are available, and many so on. So that nowadays the artificial intelligence makes one things that we can know about each and everything. In this way, the artificial intelligence makes our life easier, our healthcare system easier. So as we can say that AI is termed as it is a science and technology used to create an intellectual apparatus. AI also states a program done by computers and perform tasks especially for intelligently Like a human, nowadays the operations are going on or many works are going on, but intelligently the how the machines can do in a short period of time, human can take long period of time. It all are done by the human only, but it can take a long period of time by the human, and by a machine it can take a short period of time. Next, here are the some problems which we can face, people are facing nowadays, are also facing, because totally the AI, artificial intelligence, is not working. It started working, but totally it was not now familiar with everyone. Like we can see that people faces the problems like insufficient of hospital beds, less number of healthcare systems, insufficient number of blood banks. These all problems people feel, like medical tools, if you need medical staff. Some problems also we can face, that if we want to meet with the doctor or we are facing problem, then directly first at before time we have to visit to the doctor place, then we can only know about that which doctor or about them. But now by the use of AI or modern technologies, we can see that directly we can check on internet, we can book our appointment, we can pay our fee, at what timing they are giving the appointment. These all things we can do and go at a time. In this way we can save our time also. So we can say that in lack of these things we are facing many problems. Now, after the uses of AI, we can say that multiple use of we are using it in the medicine line, in hospitals, laboratories, research institute, and it also helps in the clinical decision support, healthcare prediction, patient monitoring, healthcare inventions, all the new things which are developing day by day. In that AI, we are using AI. And we can say that in integrated patient monitoring system also, we are using AI for making the assistive decision making, that what decision we have to take, what to tell to the patient. If we are asking, someone is nowadays virtual, we can ask with the doctor, or doctor on call is there available facility. So the AI makes this easier for the people nowadays. Here are some of the benefits, like providing a user-centered experience, improvement of operational efficiency, various healthcare data connections. These are some benefits of AI. Like if we can say that increasing, people are not getting satisfaction by talking with doctors, then by providing a good experience, doctors, we can know that we can ask them that what problems we have, how, what benefit, these all things we can come to know. And easier and faster we can get the problem solution with these things. Various healthcare data connections are also there, like AI machine learning technology. We can say that in very by doctor can see us directly. They can, after seeing you, they can predict that some problems they can predict by seeing you also. So these are the improving benefits. Here are some patient service benefits. Nowadays, that what AI makes a benefit for people, like for patients, more choice and convenience, faster, easier appointment scheduling, conveying bill payment, because and for hospitals also, reduce cost, reduce wait times. If patients are there, we don't have to see that which doctor we have to go for clinic or something. We can directly choose our from our home only, and directly we can go to the meet with doctor. Faster and easier appointment we can get. If we have to pay the bill, long lines are there in the hospital for paying the bill, but we can, here we can say that directly we can do the online payments. And these all for hospitals also, we can say it is, we can get a reduced cost or reducing day by day. Waiting time, we don't have to give our time there. As we can say that payment are easier, and patients are also getting satisfied with that, because of their time, they are giving less time for their doctor appointment or more other things. So these are the some patient self-service benefits. Some applications we use in the healthcare systems are supporting clinical decisions, improving primary care, robotic operations, virtual nursing assistant, support for exact diagnostic, minimum the burden of using EHR. Some major things we can say that the applications which are very beneficial for us, like that robotic operations are there. Nowadays, it was not probably started everywhere, but our scientists and they are working on it. And I think probably it will come so fast, it will be there for us, that we can get a good operations by robots. If by a human it is doing, then if human doctors had it was done by them also, but they are taking more timing. With robots we can get less timing operation, and exact diagnostic, proper diagnostic and each and everything by the visual camera or everything, it will be done. Burden of EHR, the health record, like previously if we are meeting with doctor or if we are in any hospital, they are maintaining our all the details in the record book or something else. But nowadays directly they are putting our records in their record session, with your name, with your problems, with your address. If we went to them, they are giving some ID to you. If we are visiting second time to that hospital, directly they can access by your name or by your number, the specified number which you are, which they are giving to you. Then these types of problem which we are suffering before, by after coming the artificial intelligence, these all removed, and we are getting easy and faster healthcare system. Finally, if I am turning toward our conclusion, that the conclusion came to know that we can improve beyond the baseline, that we forecast the hospitalized demand for emergency room, like ED is here, emergency room, we are people are get, we can know about the emergency room. If someone gets accident, someone gets any problem, we can directly check that in which hospital there is the emergency room is available or something else. Then directly we can visit there. We don't have to wait anywhere, or we don't have to wait for some hospitals their call. We don't have to do anything. Everything they can directly we can see, and we can check and to move to that place. One of the major things which I have mentioned here also, that we can say that features for structured data, that these all data which are mentioned in our hospitals, when we visit once, we can get these all data are mentioned there, like reason for visit, current waiting time, number of orders, our ages, gender, admit in past 30 days when we are admitted, types of insurance, types of problems which we have faced, types what problem we are faced before and something else. These all records are mentioned there, and probably we can say that when we visit there directly, they can get our data, and they can directly say that you have these problems we faced before, and now what problem we are facing. Then it is easier for doctor also to know about us, that I faced this problem I faced, and now I have to see and give according to that medicines and everything. Future scope, if I would like to talk about that, then future it is increasing day by day, like emergency aids for patients, it will be in robotic assistant healthcare system, we can say that. And also in a, for all the staffs, all the people who are working, it is very easier for them in the future to know about the people, know about their problem. And as we can say that the virtual assistant system which is going nowadays, directly we can doctor on call, these all system. Then day by day it was increasing, these all intelligence are increasing, and we can say that now in coming days we can't face many problems, like basically the for people say, we can say that robotic operations which are very major thing for us, and we need it. Then these all are developing, development are going on, and these all developments make us very easier with our artificial intelligence and working on them. So we can automated operation, more accurate operation, we can get appropriate, and in less cost also. These all in we can say that in the way of maintaining the records also, it will be very easier for us. Finally, these are some of the references which I have used. I have mentioned here some of my references. According to this, I want to tell that in literature survey also, some of the place books and some of quotations I have preferred, that from where I have get, like I can say that artificial intelligence, how to solve the resources crisis of healthcare. These all I have mentioned. Stage that take a pipelines of outlook by linking the data procedure, consumers and analysts between, as we can say that between the doctors and their patients. These are about the artificial intelligence also, because nowadays we can say that if we are getting any our X-ray or something else, we are getting proper. But after increasing artificial intelligence, and nowadays we are getting a very proper and accurate each and everything. So this is about my paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikash. Your presentation is quite a welcome uh, presentation to any biomedical engineer or person who will be starting his career of research in the biomedical research. Okay, but still I want
Thank
to
you, sir.
suggest you that it is just a shallow, it is very superficial knowledge that you have presented. Okay, instead, what you have written in the future scope, these all
Yes,
things are already in what I'll say, these all uh, methods of use of AI into the healthcare that you mentioned in the future scope of work, they are already in use. And you could have collected the processes of those, how they are being conducted, okay, one by one. Okay.
yes, sir.
And if you could have described that in steps, then I think your presentation would have been better. Okay. Anyways,
Okay, sir.
wish you all the best. Thank you. Next presenter,
Thank you
please.
so much, sir.
Yes, yes, please.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now we can call our next presenter to present a paper on crop yield prediction and climate change impact assessment using machine learning technology in agriculture. Paper presenter is Anshul. Ma'am, you may please start your presentation.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening to all other participants. Myself, Anshul. I am a PhD scholar, and my paper topic is crop yield prediction and climate change impact assessment using machine learning technologies in agriculture. And my paper ID is 138. My contents related to my research paper is abstract, introduction, and objective of my paper, literature survey and techniques used in previous studies, and discussion and the future work, and conclusion and the references. As we all know, India's economy is heavily reliant on agricultural output growth and related agro-industry products, as the country is predominantly agrarian. And machine learning techniques can be used in agricultural production in an effort to do further research. The yield and efficiency of conventional agricultural crop production cycles may be improved by the application of ML technologies. In numerous studies, a variety of machine learning techniques are used to improve crop output in the agriculture. In this paper, we review the work related to predicting crop yield and the effects of climate change using machine learning technologies in the agriculture. And the main objective of my paper is to conduct a comprehensive literature review to identify machine learning approaches that can be used to solve the challenge of predicting agricultural yields and the climate changes effects. Some of the literature reviews and their results are shown in my slide. That the first one is Kandasamy et, which is presented in 2022, and the techniques used by his is vulnerability index. And the output of his study is that the current study indicated a route for policy research and development for the dryland farmers, micro level sustainability in a climate change future. And the another one research or literature I have studied, and Mr. Reddy uses machine learning techniques, which is used to estimate the crop yield and explored, and their accuracy is evaluated in the depth. And the main important Vijayasree, which is represented in 2021, she has also used machine learning techniques, and the modular and reusable workflow design enable us to manage a wide range of crops and nations with minor configuration tweaks. Some other research works and literatures I have reviewed are there in my table. This study was a part of thorough literature review of machine learning and AI approaches to crop yield prediction. I have analyze that neural networks can be used in the modeling process because they can automatically discover complicated correlations between the data. And the techniques for predicting crop yield via machine learning used in previous studies. In my paper, I have discussed so many studies which I had used to review the use of ML in agriculture. And I have found that we will get more satisfactory and precise results using ANN, that is artificial neural network, SVM, sector vertical machine learning, IFN, information fuzzy networks, and deep algorithms and decision trees. For example, the next slide is a decision tree influencing the climate factors. This decision tree is used by Shri Aditya Sastry at 2022. He had represented her work and he has used decision tree for influence the climate factors on soybean yield. As we see in this decision tree, there are many climatic factors which affect the crop production and how can we get high yield and how can we predict by using the environmental factors. Aditya Sastry had gathered data on the Bhopal district climate between 1984 to 2003, which is based on the evaporation rate, temperature, highest relative humidity, and rainfall total were all taken into the account alone. And discussion and the future work, the paper which I have analyzed and the present state of the machine learning and its function in the several fields. It is a creation of machine learning model techniques and climate change for the purpose of improving the production of the agricultural products. This paper shows how machine learning techniques are used in agriculture. Depth, additional structure, and hardware help boost CNN's learning ability and accuracy. The use of machine learning techniques may result in better judgment on the crop planning. The machine learning techniques to solve farming problems and now more accurate specialized machine learning models are needed to quickly assess the larger, more complex data set and optimize the agricultural classifications, suggestions, and the predictions. And the future research is focused on the comparing the performance of the various machine learning methods and more machine learning techniques and methods which I will be used. And the conclusion of my analysis and the comparative study, based on the review and depth study of the previous researches, the current study revealed the possible application of data mining method to estimate agricultural yield using deep learning techniques. And the climate change affect the crop the most in both the time beginning till the end. There are briefly discussed in this study such climate change predictions, machine learning and its applications. It is based on the study of various researches completed in the previous year. Crop forecasting is made easier because to the application of computer science in agriculture, ANN, decision trees, or artificial neural networks, information fuzzy networks, and machine learning techniques for crop yield prediction have been investigated. And there are some references which I have used for my analysis and my study to prepare this paper. And thank you so much. Hello? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Anshul.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, your presentation was about the estimation of the crop yielding by using machine learning.
Yes,
I would,
sir.
it's quite a small review compare required for any paper presentation. Okay, I would suggest that it would have been good if you have included something, say that what methods has been utilized for the machine for the crop yield estimation, how those methods has performed, means what are their performance parameters. Let's say that accuracy, how the accuracy was there, okay,
Okay,
how
okay.
what kind of data they have used, okay, and what was the quantity of that
So,
data, such way that review could have helped us, or some analysis. When we talk about any review now, see, it should be reviews are required in the literature the uh, for the upcoming researchers in this field, right?
yes, sir.
They are beneficial, they should be beneficial to them. So
Yes, sir.
accordingly that review should be designed, okay. There
Okay,
should be
sir.
an exhaustive analysis and exhaustive comparison should be there, including methodologies, performances, and even the re-implementation of the some of the methods on the same data, so that we can confirmly say that for this particular data these all methods are working, but this method is far comparatively better. That indicates something, the correlation between the data, whether it is linear, non-linear, or if there is some, because every machine learning method is not able to handle the uh, core data types, or say that there is a huge non-linearity is there. So how that non-linearity has been handled by your machine learning algorithm, that should be presented there. Anyways, thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thank you,
Next
sir.
question. Yes.
May I say something, sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, actually, it is only review because I have achieved only first objective of my uh,
Research.
research
Yes.
topic,
But
and the next one, the second objective of my research is comparative study of further machine learning methods and the accuracy report of that methods.
that's what I'm saying. When that all will be included, then only your literature will be review will be completed.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you.
Now we can call our next presenter to present his paper on detection of log 4G attack in SDN environment. A paper presenter is Abhilesh Raja. Dear presenter, you may please start your presentation.
Okay, good evening everyone. Hi, and I'm going to give a presentation about the detection of log4j attack in software-defined network. That is my just my objective is about implementing rule-based intrusion detection system to detect log4j attacks in SDN network. So this SDN network, this implementation will be done in controller level, so that organization will be protected in the controller levels. So here in a virtual network is created, and ROE controller and SNOT IDS is integrated. So the rule-based intrusion detection can be implemented. So, and that what is the software-defined network? So software-defined network is physically separating the network control plane and forwarding plane. This separation will be helpful for network traffic to be forwarded and controlled as per the defined through the software. So not only the IPs and the MAC addresses will be directed to the respective um, machines, and also will be monitored through it. So this controller level implementation will help us to monitor the whole network. So through signature based or anomaly based. So this will help an organization to protect their network. So this SDN network provides a network infrastructure to enable a high degree of automation. in provisioning network services. So here we are using SDN controller is RYU. RYU is on-based controller, which is widely used among organizations, and it is well-defined application program interface, and it is easy to create new network management and control applications. So since the organization is using widely using ROI, so I have done this project through this ROI controller. So I mean the paper to the ROI controller, and also this experimental setup is like integrating this mini net, that is virtualization of a network, and also integrating the controller for ROI controller in the mininet. So mininet, what is mininet? Mininet is like a uh, virtual test bed that can make it possible to create scalable SDN, software defined network, and test the network tools and protocols. So constructing a network, construct, constructing a virtual network in one command. It is it will create controller switch and also the host, which is we can create through. It will be very easy to create a topology that can used for testing and wire up a physical network. So and also it also provides straightforward and extensible Python API for network creation and experimentation. So it can help configure ROU in a easy manner. This is like as I said, in a single command can create a topology that can integrate with the controller switches and also host. So I have explained it. I have explained it in the previous slide that it can create a topology. So I have shown this here. And detecting log4j. Okay, first we have to think about what is log4j. Log4j is like Java-based logging utility. That is one of the part of Apache logging services. This log4j will be logging every activities of an application, so that it can run smoothly and determine what's happening, and also help with the debugging process when it occurs, when the vulnerability or any issue occurs, errors occurs. So here I have I have in the picture I have indicated that user will be sending an HTTP request to the HTTP server, and the server's logs will be saved in a um, database as a service logs, log4j service logs. If what is the log4j vulnerability? Oh, so we have seen that what's log4j. Log4j is a logging service, right? So the application always uses this log4j for storing log of an activity. So through this, the malicious code can be manipulated through remote code execution, uh, or else this this remote code execution will be using this Java naming directory interface, and it will be looking up for a function for LDAP protocol, right? So it will be looking up, and it will get the data from the server, and the logs can be manipulated through the attacker. So this is the log4j vulnerability. So this malicious code can be executed. So any attacker can get inside the system. So my proposed architecture is like implementing in a controller level through loss detection system and
Dear presenter, you have last 1 minute.
okay, sure. Okay, the firewall will be configured as such that if the detection is happened, and it will be like blocking the system from the whole network. So as I actually said, IDS is implemented in the controller level, and ROE controller is implemented, and we can simulate through Mininet, and this is virtual SDN network that can detect log4j vulnerability. Future work, my future work is like implementing not only IDS and also an IPS, intrusion prevention system, so that it can detect anomaly based also. Log4j is basically based on signature based, and all the signature based can be simulated in the Mininet, and also we can, in the future work, we can detect anomaly based. So this is about my paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raja. Uh, Intrusion is very important to detect in the networks. That's what you are doing, and what Mininet that you have proposed. I hope that is able to detect those intrusions very precisely. This
Yes.
even if you, now there is an era of cyber physical systems, that everywhere the networks are coming into the picture. Even in power systems also the networks are installed, and there also the intrusions are need to be detected. So I just wanted to know that what what capacity of intrusions can be detected with your this network Mininet.
Okay.
Capacity of the intrusions, in the sense, they say like say that if there is a say I have some current problems, okay, my currents are going very high, say from 20 amperes to 2000 amperes. That is something which is a fault. Okay, at the same time, there are, when people are taking control of your controllers, right, that time also they intrude something which is going to disturb your network, and then your data from that network are going to be either either going to be still, or it is going to be uh, destroyed. So that way I just wanted to know that what in types of intrusions or capacity of intrusion can be detected.
So this intrusion detection system is like uh, in the network level. So any data that can, any data traffic that can pass through a controller, that is like a network device, that can be analyzed completely, not only the IP addresses and the MAC addresses, and also the headers and every protocol's description will be analyzed. And this IDS is not only just 10 what's like detecting a specific part. It is like detecting any anomalies in the content of the packets. So what an attacker must be using some kind of anomaly which can be which can be masquerading the original part, right? The original code. If for example I'm sending a HTTP request that can get that I get a data from the server, so I'm giving anomaly that can um, uh, what's it like overriding my authorities. So this anomaly will be detected in the network level.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. Next presenter, please.
Now we can call our next presenter to present her paper on differential privacy and its challenges, a literature review. Ms. Nisha.
Good evening, all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, Nisha, you are audible. You may please start your presentation.
My screen is visible.
Yes.
So my topic is, my name is Nisha and I'm PhD scholar in Department of Computer Science, University of Delhi. Today I'm here to give presentation on topic differential privacy and its challenges, a literature review. My paper ID is 253. So in today's world, there has been an increasing interest in automatic analysis of educational data to improve the learning experiences and the teaching practices. In educational data, we have huge amount of data, like we have the learning experience of individuals from, we have learning resources offline and online, attendance record, assignment records, and we can analyze the data, and we can provide the on-time feedback to the learners for increasing the success rate of the students and for decreasing the failure rate of the student. But for sharing, but for analysis purpose, we have to share this data with the third party. And after sharing this data, we do not have any control over this data. So before sharing that data, we have to apply some privacy preserving algorithms on that data, so that we can share that data to the third party, and we can secure the data of the individuals uh, uh, whose data are used for the analysis purpose. So we have some existing privacy preserving algorithms like k-anonymization and L-diversity algorithm. These algorithms are very popular algorithm which are used for the privacy preserving techniques, but they assume that adversary have some background knowledge about the data, and they divide the data into set of attributes like the Cauchy identifier and the sensitive attribute, and after that these algorithm apply the privacy preserving technique. Then for overcoming the drawbacks of these algorithms, we have the differential privacy, which is the another popular algorithm. It basically tries to reduce the privacy leakage of data by adding the noise to the data. So this differential privacy add the noise to the result of the data, and it does not assume anything about the background knowledge, that adversary have the background knowledge about the data, or it also does not divide the data into different set of attributes, and it prevents the data leakage by bounding the risk of the disclosure. So before understanding the concept of differential privacy, I would like to explain two concepts which are required to understand the differential privacy. First is the neighboring data set, and second is the sensitivity of a query function F. So the neighboring data sets are basically, if we have two data sets D1 and D2 are called neighboring data set if they are distinguished by one record. So there are different possibilities for creating the neighboring data set. First, we can add one data to one data set, and we can add the data of one individual into one data set. So, and second is we can delete one record from the data set. So these two possibilities basically come under the bounded differential privacy. And the third is we can modify, third possibility is we can uh, modify the record of one individual. So that is come under bounded differential privacy. So differential privacy basically tries to minimize the difference between the result of set of queries executed on all neighboring data sets. Next is the sensitivity of query function F. So the F function basically maps the database to the real numbers, and it is the maximum difference between the result of output of queries on two neighboring data set D1 and D2. So F is the function that guides the analytical task, and the domain of F is the data set D, and the range is dimensional vector of real numbers, and D1 D2 are the data sets. And so the if we consider the one example for understanding the sensitivity, that if I query a data, if I fetch the record of like how many students are there in mathematics course, so the result between the both the data sets is differed by only one. So that is basically the sensitivity is one. In one data set maybe the record is less, and in another data set maybe the record is greater than one. So the count is only different by one. So the sensitivity is one. And now the differential privacy concept. The differential privacy basically assumes that there is a probability which is managed by parameter epsilon for getting the same result if we apply the algorithm on all the neighboring data set. So if we get the same result from both the data set, then it means that the result of the one record which is present or absent in the data set is basically secure. we can provide the secure privacy to that record if we get the same result. So the value of epsilon is basically lies between 0 to 1, and to achieve so this is basically the concept of differential privacy. In this, we have two data sets, D and D1. In D, we have n records, and D1, we have n-1 records. So if we fetch the query of count, and if we get the same result, then the privacy is protected. Otherwise, the privacy is compromised. So we have two different types of differential privacy, the local differential privacy and the global differential privacy. In local differential privacy, every individual adds a noise to the data, and after that it submit the data to the data creator. And in global differential privacy, the individual basically trusts the data creator, and they submit their data to the data creator, and the data creator add noise only once to the data after collection of data from individuals. So there are three steps basically. Firstly, in both the local and global differential privacy. So in local differential privacy, firstly, all the individuals add noise to their data and submit the private data to the data owner, and data owner basically store that data into database. And after that, third party can access that data and fetch the data through the query. And whereas in global differential privacy, all the individuals submit their original data to the data owner, and then data owner add the noise only once to the data, and after that the third party can query the data. So the difference is that in the global differential privacy, the noise is only added once, and in the local differential privacy, every individual adds the noise to the data, because the individual does not trust on the data creator. So this is basically the comparison of the differential privacy with the K anonymization and L diversity. So the differential privacy does not assume about, does not consider the adversary background knowledge, whereas K anonymization and L diversity consider the adversary background knowledge. And it also does not divide the data into different information into different set of attributes. And the homogeneity and background knowledge attacks, which are possible because of the adversary background knowledge, cannot be applicable on the differential privacy. And differential privacy add noise to the data to secure the data, whereas K anonymization and diversity does not apply noise to the data. And the differential privacy uses the Laplace, exponential, and Gaussian mechanism to add noise to the data, whereas K anonymization and L diversity uses the generalization and suppression method to provide the privacy to the data. And utility of the resulting data depends on the privacy parameter epsilon in differential privacy, and in K anonymization it is dependent on parameter K, and in L diversity it is dependent on value of L. And the differential privacy basically suffers from the sequential composition problem, whereas K anonymization and L diversity does not suffers from sequential composition problem. So the disadvantage of differential privacy is that it basically it provides the security to the data, and by adding the noise, and by limiting the disclosure of the query, the result of the query. But it also has one disadvantage, that it suffers from the problem of sequential composition. So if the adversary if the adversary apply the associated queries to the data, then the adversary can find out that the record of individual is present in this data. So in future, we can add some variants to the differential privacy, and which can be developed, and which can reduce the leakage of privacy, and we can also increase the utility and accuracy of the data. And these are the references. Thank you.
Thank you, Nisha, to hear about your topic, that is differential privacy. I just want you to have one concern here. It would have been good if you could have focused on the noise as well, because
Yes, sir. Yes,
that
sir.
is something which makes the differential privacy unique by adding that noise, right?
Okay, sir.
So
Okay,
can
sir.
you please can you quickly tell me that, say I am sharing my uh, credit card number to someone, right?
Mhm.
What noise you are going to add into that?
So actually, Abhi, currently I am just exploring this topic. In detail, I don't know how we can add the noise to that data. Basically, that is dependent on the epsilon parameter, and we can find out the sensitivity of the query, and after that we can decide that how much noise we can add to the data. So
So
if
that comes
yes,
in your next stage of work,
yes,
right?
yes,
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 yes, yes,
yes.
yes. Thank you so much. Okay,
Thank you,
bye.
sir.
Best wishes.
Thank you.
Now we can call our next presenter to present a paper on image encryption using syn- syncryption and chaotic map. A paper presenter is Manogna Veena.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes, we can hear your voice. Please, you may start your presentation.
Yes. So, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, it's visible.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Manogna Veena, and I'm pursuing my MTech in VIT Chennai. I'm basically from the Cyber Physical System branch under the guidance of my faculty Kanchana Devi ma'am. And the title of my paper is Image Encryption Using Sign Encryption and Chaotic Maps. So the abstract of this paper is about how the security became a major importance in our present day-to-day life. Because many of the times whenever we need to send a message or an image which is very much confidential to the other persons, in some ways the middle person may get into he may get into it and can change the message that I'm going to send. So we need the encryption that it can change the original format into the unreadable format, and then only the recipient that who is I'm going to send can decode it. So that is the reason why I used here one method, that is sign encryption. I'll be going deep into that in next slide. So this is the literature review that has been done on sign encryption methods from 1984, and from then the sign encryption researchers are going on. And introduction to the method sign encryption is basically the first person who introduced is Yuliang Zhang. And in cryptography studies, sign encryption is basically a public key. That is, it consists both the encryption process and the signature, that is digital signature. So why we'll be using the encryption and digital signature? Digital signature is basically for authentication purposes. So whether the recipient when we send a message to a recipient, he may get the doubt whether the user is authenticated or not. So that is the reason why if we do the signature, then the other person may know, okay, he is the person who I know. So that is the reason why we'll be using the digital signature. And this process is the combination of both signature and encryption. And the purpose that we'll be using this method is basically about the correctness, efficiency, and security parameters. So these are the three attributes that are mainly used for sign encryption because of the sign encryption process. And the next method is image encryption. As I have already said the previous, encryption is nothing but it will change the original format into the unreadable format, and only the user can decrypt it, and then he can get the content what the other person sent. So this encryption is used in many of the fields right now because of the security. Even in our day-to-day life, that WhatsApp, when we are sending some messages to the other person, we can see the message like the text are encrypted. So that is the reason why the encryption became much useful in the today's life. And the decryption, it is totally reverse of the encryption. And the chaotic maps is basically, it is totally of the mathematical purpose. So Why we'll be using the chaotic maps is basically whenever we generate a keys for this encryption, it needs to be so much secure that no other person can crack. So if nowadays what happened is we got so many tools, even using one tool a person can crack the security. He can get intruded it. So when we use the mathematical functions, because of their behavior, whenever the parameters are changing, their behavior will also change, and we can't even say what at one time what the behavior will be. So here we have three types of maps, that is tent map and logistic and Henon map. So we can use any of the map here, or we can also use the combination of the any of the two to generate a keys for the encryption. And the next one is elliptical curve cryptography. So this is another method. We can say the alternative method for RSA. So RSA, it is a mathematical key cryptographic generation method. So there we'll be using the large key sizes, but when we come to the elliptic, this ECC, it is totally popular because of its small key size, and it is much more difficult to crack the. It is much more difficult, and in the purpose of performance and security, it is totally best. Then I cannot say best, but it is totally different from RSA. It can give the better performance than it, and there will be a faster generations of keys and signatures also. So that is the reason why we use this four schemes here. So this is the major flow model. So we can here there is a small image, and when we use this encryption method on this medical image, it will be having three steps. The first step is key generation, encryption, and signature generation. After doing all these process, that will be going on to the that user via public network, and there the user will do the unsigned encryption method, where it is the same as the signed encryption, only the difference is decryption method, and he will be using the authentication so that he can know which user has been sending the images, and then the medical image will be converted from unreadable to original form. And the step one, the key generation. So for key generation, here we uses the elliptic cryptographic. So this method will be used because we need to generate a secret key that is used for encryption scheme. And the second step is encryption, where we'll be using the logical maps to create a public and private key for the encryption between the user and the recipient. And then we will be combining that with the secret key, and then we will be converting that image or text anything into the cipher image or ciphertext. And the third step is digital signature. So as I have said, the digital signature is used for the authentication purposes for the recipient. And this is the model. So we can take any image or text, anything. So first, for sign encryption, what the user will do is he will use his private key. So this digital signature is the third process, and the first process is key generation. So to generate this secret key, he will be using the public key of the recipient, and then he will be using the scheme of elliptic key cryptography, and then generates a key, and then he will be using the chaotic maps for generating the public and private key between both user and the recipient, and then he will do the encryption scheme with the combination of the secret, and then that will be forming the cipher image or ciphertext, which is an unreadable format. And then the third process is digital signature. For this digital signature, he will use the private key of his own and sign this, and then he will be sending the cipher image and the digital signature to the recipient. So this is the sign encryption model. And when coming to unsigned encryption, now the recipient has been received the cipher image. He will be using his private key, and then he will be generating the secret key. And then as we already got the public and private key using the chaotic maps between the user and the recipient, he will be using the public key of the user, and then he will be trying to verify the digital signature, and he will also do the decryption, and then we'll be getting the readable format, and he can also know what who is the person that he sent, and in that way the authentication will be cleared. So this is the unsigned encryption model on the side of recipient, and then he can verify the signature. So we can see if I take the photo as this, so the cipher image will be totally in the form of this. And when the user and when the recipient is going to decrypt it, he will be getting the form and then the original form. So in this way, the encryption and decryption will be used. Even if we can say the example of a secret key, whenever we download an Aadhaar card, because of the confidential information that is present in Aadhaar card, we need to give the secret key, that is our date of birth, to that to open the Aadhaar card. So we can say that secret key is the main key, or else if we don't have any key, then any other person can open our Aadhaar cards without any uh, this. So in conclusion, what I'm going to say is the security is the most important thing to cover all the to maintain the confidential information getting into the into the other hands. So that is the reason why we use, and sign encryption is why we used here is because of the attributes, the security, privacy, and we'll be also having the certification because of the digital signature, and there will be no problem of repudiability and unforgeability. So that, and this is totally of mathematical, so it may be somewhat difficult to crack because of its behavior. And these are some of the references that I have read. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Veena ma'am. Actually,
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
it
sir.
was a nice presentation on encryption. Just say that, as you were saying something about Aadhaar card, where the encryption has been provided by giving some means I have to decrypt my own Aadhaar card by entering my, say, date of birth or
No, sir, I'm not saying the decryption. I just gave an example for digital signature, like for generating a secret key.
yes, and secret keys, right?
Yeah.
So by in entering that keys, the data is going to be visible to me. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is nothing but a decrypted. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what I am saying here, my own data, because that the data which is known to me is only being used for the generation of that keys, or it is being used as the key, isn't it?
Yes,
Date of birth, your say PAN card number, or maybe um, they are saying that there is a process of key, that first four words of your name and then the last four digits of your card, right? So
yes,
that way they ask you to enter the details for the as a key to the documents, right?
yes.
So what I want to ask you that, first of all, that the process of the key generation is it is described, okay, and mostly the very general data of any human means user, like date of birth or PAN card number or something. It is a general data, and uh, I don't think that it is very uh, what I will say, not
Secured.
publicized. It is very secured. Many people looks into our your cards, and many people sees your date, knows about your date of birth and everything. So in that cases, is it not good to generate the keys by the system on its own and then communicate that keys to the user?
So we need to think in the user way also, because if the secret key is totally different from what he knows, where the if the educated people, okay, he can know, but when we come to somewhat the middle class or not that much educated person, then he may know his birth date and he can open it. If he doesn't know what password we need to give, as is not that much educated. So I'm saying basically that we need to think from the user point of view also.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Next
Thank
presenter.
you.
Now we can call our next presenter to present her paper on secure XML phrasing pattern for prevention of XML attacks. Paper presenter is Charu Gupta.
Very good evening to the session chair and dear participants. Myself, Charu Gupta. I'm presenting my paper titled Secure XML Parsing Pattern for the Prevention of XML Attacks in the 7th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology for Competitive Strategies 2022. The presentation for the paper is divided into sections: introduction with its problem and solution, related work, gaps identified, proposed approach for detection and prevention of malicious payload, followed by experiments, results, analysis, and conclusion. XML document is widely used to communicate among the heterogeneous web applications and cloud computing services, as they provide the data representation and transportation facility. These documents are parsed by the XML parsers, though which may have a hidden vulnerability in them. The attackers exploit these hidden vulnerabilities by injecting malicious payload and pose a threat to the confidentiality, integrity, as well as availability of the web resources. Moreover, the existing security mechanisms they cannot detect the malicious payload which have been injected with newer patterns, and the as the attackers keep on changing the attack payload through newer features, newer attack methods, and so on. Hence, in this paper, an approach to securely parse XML document is proposed so that large number of XML as well as XSE attacks can be prevented. We have proposed detection rules for detection of malicious document and malicious payloads that keeps on changing by using an incremental genetic algorithm. The proposed XML parsing pattern will provide a security guideline, as well as it will supplement the already existing parser by facilitating detection of malicious payloads. The attacks on the web services are increasing due to the vulnerable parsers, and we can see that over the past 6-7 years, the number of attacks have been increasing due to the malicious characters and strings, due to the oversize of the XML documents, such as the attacks such as billion laugh attack, attacks due to unauthorized access via external entity due to tempered XML schema, and other cryptographic flaws. Moreover, more large efforts are required to identify and patch these hidden vulnerabilities that lie deep in the parsers within a short limited time span. Consider an XML document with malicious payload. An attacker injects 5 lakhs of items in a document, or the attacker injects a very lengthy node of the element in the document. in the document. Now, this document is parsed by a vulnerable parser. As an example, I have presented a vulnerable code snippet wherein there is a while loop which goes till the end of the elements, and there is no check for the end of the elements. So this loop will go on running and running for the 5 lakh times, for the 5 lakh nodes and 5 lakh elements, and will consume all the system resources, memory, as well as processors, and make the system or make the server halt, causing a denial of service attack. As a solution, we have proposed an XML parser that will detect and prevent such malicious documents from being proposed. And the detection has been done using a classification rules generated by a genetic algorithm. This is the basic model of the secure parser, XML parser, wherein the raw incoming document will be fed into the classification. First, it will be classified as malicious or non-malicious, and then it will be valid. If once it is validated, it will be forwarded to the existing parser for parsing. As in literature work, we found out that such attacks are like billion laugh attack, XML external entity attack, are mainly due to the vulnerable XML parsers. And such parsers are poorly configured to allow the external entity that leads to the referencing of the documents as well as the link without authentication of the user. There is we also surveyed five categories of the XML attacks that can be classified into 5 attacks. The attacks due to injection of malicious characters, the attacks due to injection of oversized payloads, attacks due to unauthorized access, and attacks due to the tampered schema, and due to cryptographic failures or weak cryptographic algorithms. Now, the important challenging part is that it is difficult to rewrite the complete parser or patch such hidden vulnerabilities. Moreover, the patching of the vulnerabilities or rewriting the complete parser will come up with a new form of vulnerability, which is even more hard to test and identify. Such attacks are even increasing at a rate faster. They can at a very faster rate then they can be patched or they can be detected. So this is a working of an simple as XML parser. The parser can be a DOM based or a simple or a stream based, wherein the XML document is fed to the XML parser, which also takes the XML schema, style sheet, as well as the data definition, and returns the XML document after passing to the return the XML document after parsing. Now, for an example, an attacker injects a malicious payload which may cause cross-site scripting attack, and this malicious payload has been injected into the malicious document, which is then passed by the vulnerable parser, and instead of parsing the XML document, it causes an injection or a DOS attack. To prevent this, we have come up with an approach that will detect these malicious payload and extract its features. After extracting the feature, we will update the feature set. If there is a new feature that has been used by the attacker, it will update on itself, and it will create a newer population and generate a newer generation and make the classificate and classify it as a malicious or non-malicious. After this, we incorporated our approach of classification as a grammar rule into the XML parser. This XML parser consists of a pattern.
Dear presenter, you have last 1 minute.
Yes, I'm just finishing, which consists of an abstract factory validator and 4 different classes which are inherited by using the data validator, size validator, and the schema validators. This is an example how we tested our approach. The malicious payload is being injected into the XML document. It is being detected as a malicious or non-malicious by our approach and is prevented. And after, only the validated documents are being fed to the existing parsers. We conducted experiments on 6 Java-based parsers and 3 vulnerable web applications which are available in the open source. And we found out that our proposed approach is preventing the malicious document and the is preventing the malicious documents. As a conclusion, I would like to say that the proposed the proposed secure XML pattern, it works as an additional layer to detect as well as prevent the vulnerabilities due to XML parser. It validates the input raw XML document before sending it to the parser for processing. It has been incorporated with the genetic algorithm based grammar rules so that it can detect the changing attack patterns and classify the document as malicious or non-malicious. This proposed parser will reduce the load on the parser for its detection, as well as it will provide an additional layer to provide an additional layer so that the efforts required to identify and patch the hidden vulnerabilities can be reduced. These are the references that have been referred. Any questions?
Thank you, Charu. I see. XML files are very important, and what you are proposed in your work is quite fascinating, right? One thing I want to ask you regarding this XML files, that are they always open? Means always available to everyone, or everyone can open those files and put in some malicious information into those documents easily?
No, so this is basically done through the sophisticated methods which the attackers, be it the naive attackers or the expert attackers, they inject the malicious payload through in between the network by reading the network, or they can do the same using a simple web form. For example, I am using a web form, and that web form is converting the data to the XML document. That web form is passing the data through the XML document. So what is happening? Basically, that malicious payload is being injected through a simple web form.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. If a person like me and you, if we can learn a little bit about XML documents, we can easily look into those documents and modify it.
Exactly. The problem lies here in the vulnerable parsers, which are being written by developers, which are not security experts. And it's not like that they do it intentionally. Like as I show in my example, there is a vulnerable code wherein the while loop is running. It is checking whether it is going till the end of the elements, but there is no check. There is no upper limit. This while loop will run for only up to the 100 elements.
Right. Thank you, Charu. Thank you so much for your nice presentation.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Next presenter, please.
Now we can call our next presenter to present his paper on video transcript extension and summarization using transfer learning. The paper presenter is Varun Mehta.
Ma'am, can you make me a presenter? Yes. So it's a slide visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Good evening, everyone. I, Varun Mehta, along with my co-authors, students of DJ Sangvi College of Engineering, Mumbai, are here to present a paper titled Video Transcript Extraction and Summarization Using Transfer Learning. Let's have a quick look at our presentation content. The problem statement, objective, literature survey, comparative study of approaches, proposed methodology, implementation, conclusion, and references. Starting with problem state. The number of videos accessible on the web platforms is continuously growing. Information extraction from videos is far more difficult than from images, since viewers must watch the entire video in order to fully understand the context, as opposed to images where data may be extracted from a single frame. Most of the previous implementations are based on sequence-to-sequence model, which emphasizes extractive summarization. Now we will go through the objective of our system. One can use our system to summarize the transcript or captions of the video they are watching. The ability of this product to compile all relevant information into a single paragraph will be its most crucial component. This will ensure that one remains focused on the task at hand and is not distracted by watching pointless films and complete their work. We intend to use transfer learning models which uses abstractive summarization, which will generate better trained result, unlike extractive summarization. Now Tanish will guide us to the literature survey.
Literature survey. In the first paper, the author proposes a video transcript summarizer that takes YouTube links as input and gives the summarized transcript using the Hugging Face transformers. The transformer algorithm used is Distilbart CNN. The second paper proposed an approach that automatically creates podcast audio summaries. They generate text summaries by selecting relevant sentences from the transcript using automatic extract summarization. They used a previously proposed Prism model, which builds up upon BERT and fine-tuned the Prism model for specifically handle podcast summaries. Finally, in the third paper, the author presented the first application of the BERTSUM model for conversational language. Author generated abstractive summaries of narrated instructional videos across a wide variety of topics. They used transfer learning and pre-trained the model on a few large cross-domain datasets in both written and spoken English. There are some more literature surveys. Now I'll go to the data set used in our system for model training. Dataset. We have used the how-to videos dataset for our system, in which English subtitled educational videos are present in a variety of formats. It consists of summaries produced by humans for which the owners of the videos were told to draw in more viewers. Here is an example of how the dataset looks like. This is the example, the transcript and the summary. Now Tushar will go through the model selection process.
Thank you, Tanishq. So after finding a data set that satisfies our needs and doing the survey which points out the most appropriate transfer learning models and techniques for our problem, we decided to test these models on a fixed number of inputs to understand their baseline performance. We selected the following 4 pre-trained models, namely T5 small, T5 base, Bartlett CNN, and Schleifer Distelbach. We gave these models 50 transcripts from the how-to dataset and compared the generated summaries with the original summary. This was done using Rook score and BERT score evaluation metrics, which are common for comparing summaries. In Rook score, the most common metric is Rook 1, which has 3 parts: precision, recall, and F1 score, and same goes for BERT score. From this table, we can observe that the values of Rook score and BERT score are the most optimal for the Bartlett CNN model. So therefore, we decided to fine-tune this model and try and increase its Rook/BERT score, and in turn use it in our proposed system. Now we will go through our proposed system. Now we will have a video link as input. If it is a YouTube video which has subtitles, we just extract them using YouTube Transcript API. And if it does not, then we extract the audio chunks, put it through the automatic speech recognition module, and generate the transcripts. Finally, this generated transcript is given to our fine-tuned Bartlett CNN model, which generates the final output summary. Going to the implementation process, here we can see technologies used for the fine-tuning process, which are natural language processing for dataset preparation, transfer learning, Bartlett CNN pre-trained model, and Blur summarization library. The whole implementation process includes installing and importing the libraries, importing the dataset and the pre-trained model, data pre-processing, fine-tuning our model, and training it, and finally generating predictions and evaluating our fine-tuned model. Now, all of the fine-tuning process will be explained in detail by Ravi Kumar.
So thank you, Tushar. So as Tushar pointed out the key steps of our procedure, one of the steps is preparation of the dataset. The dataset preparation process is followed before the model selections as well as the model training process. The process pre-processing steps includes splitting the text data files on our video ID, removal of punctuations, contract mapping. So you can see the statistics of the dataset used and predetermined parameters values as shown here. So next slide. Yeah. So in fine tuning model, we made a small batch of inputs and targets. Additionally, we list a number of hyperparameters and the job. We then construct the data block. A data block is a step-by-step manual that explains how to convert the unprocessed data into information that can be modeled. A data source, in our case, the data frame that receives a blueprint, executes it when we provide to it. With a switch on the fly batch tokenization, the blur data block has been significantly simplified. We construct a single sequence tokenization transformer object, and if necessary, offer a list of tokenization parameters in order to separate the values from the input and the summary sequence. Slide change. So training and evaluation of the model. So after fine tuning the model, we trained for the 10 epochs by preparing our BART model after training by wrapping it with the blur based model wrapper object. And using the callback base model callback, we can define the sequence to sequence metrics we wish to utilize for the activities like summarization, such as root score and bird score using sequence to sequence metrics callback object. Once the configuration is done, we freeze our model so that the last layer group parameters are trainable. Slide change. After that, we generate the prediction and test the results of the predictions or summary that is given by a trained model. So you can see the evaluation of the models as this graph shown. Okay. Now Varun will discuss the output and evaluation of the trained model.
Thank you, Ravi. The image shows an example of a text we summarized. From a length of 417, we brought it down to 199. Now we will see one of the output which we had put in our paper. The table shows an example of YouTube video where we first extracted a transcript using our speech recognition module. Then we generated the summary of it using our fine-tune model. Now we will go through the evaluation. The table shows the results of the Roop score and the BERT score of fine-tuned Bartlett CNN model. We can see that the results have become better. So concluding, this paper proposes a system to extract video, audio, and transcript to generate a summary. A comparative analysis for some transformer models was done, and the Bartlett CNN model gave superior results out of all the other considered models. How-to dataset was then used to train and fine-tune the Bartlett CNN model. By simply providing our system with the video URL, we use this model to summarize the video. This strategy works well and is simple. The type of summarization which we used was abstractive summarization. Here are some of the references that we have used in the paper. Thank you.
Impressive teamwork, Varun and team. Varun, I just wanted to tell you that those are not increasing performance parameters. These are the performance parameter for the single experiment. Only the parameters are different, right?
Yes, sir.
So you should say that these are the performance parameters. They are quite high because you are very close to the 100%. Some are 89, some is 90, 91. So the performance is quite good. That's I'm really happy with it. What is the question now? See, you're talking about video processing, but basically what you people are doing that you're only extracting the speech. What has been spoken into the video, it is being converted into the text. Okay. And the text abstraction has been done.
Yes, sir.
Right. So here, if you see, it is basically a speech processing. It is not a video processing. And one problem is always with this kind of methodologies that you are neglecting the vision. What you see on the screen, that also provides you some information, but it is not into the speech that has been audible to you, right? If you see if you see a movie, right? If you see a movie, you can that pictures, what is you are seeing on the picture and what you are hearing, the dialogues, okay, both the informations are important to understand the complete video.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now say that instead of not seeing that movie, if I just hear the dialogues and if I say I got some records from somewhere from the regarding the dialogues of the movie, and I'm hearing it first time, and just by hearing the dialogues, I cannot say that the movies I have seen the movie, right?
Yes.
Seeing a movie is a different thing, and hearing the dialogues is a different thing. It may be useful when you have already seen a movie and then you're hearing the dialogues, then it may be entertaining you that yes, I have seen that movie, I can imagine those pictures, and yes, it is fulfilling my thirst of seeing that movie again, right?
Yes.
So this is something which is missing here. I'm not saying that it is not it is being taken the data is being taken from the videos directly. That is very correct. Okay, but basically it is a speech processing.
Yes.
If you include some of the features from the images into that speech data and combine both of them to understand the video, then it will become a video processing somewhere.
Yes.
Right?
Like
Anyway,
while doing literature survey, we did came across such papers like they have used RNN for like to extract details from the images and directly use that to provide information.
Yes. So no, in video processing alone, speech is not enough. Alone, images are also not enough. You have to combine them.
Yes.
Right? Anyways, thank you so much. I think we are yeah.
Now we have completed all our presentation, and I sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentation and contribution in this conference, and all participants who being a part of this international conference. Thank you so much, everyone. And all the presenter would be getting digital certificate through email within 2 working days. And all papers have already forwarded to the Springer. So kindly cooperate with the team of ICTCS 2022, and the publication will be live 5 to 6 months. So kindly be cooperate with the team of ICTCS. And I also thank our chair of this session, Professor Narendra sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and your valuable presence. And this is a token of appreciation on the behalf of Team ICTCS and the Global Knowledge Research Foundation.
Thank you, Richa. It was a really nice session. We have covered something applications of AI, and we have seen that how it is being used in a crop yield prediction. We also talked about the networks, improvisation of networks, attacks on networks. There were some literature reviews and some experimental works presented today by the presenters. It was a quite informative session, and I thank all the presenters today, and I wish them all the success in their future time as well. So thank you once again to everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And I kindly request to everyone, please turn on their cameras to taking a quick snapshot. Thank you so much, everyone.